What rapper fell off the hardest?
Oh, Chance the Rapper after that dumbass one with the clear CD.
My hot take is that if Chance the Rapper released the Big Day today, it would actually snap. I think one of the biggest detriments of the Big Day, and now that I think about it, one of the things that could make it successful is the fact that we had not had 2020 yet. You have to be living under a rock to not recognize that we are in an awakening right now. And that awakening definitely started with 2020 happening. We were able to sit still, process things, recognize, hey, I don't really like myself all that much, or I don't really like the things that I'm doing, or hey, I actually want to be doing this instead. We had time to think and reflect. As a result of this awakening, people are wanting different things. Honestly, it feels like this album has kind of become like the Nickelback of rap albums. Like, it's become cool not to like it. People who haven't even heard it have something to say about it, and people who have heard it and actually do enjoy it aren't speaking up because they feel like, oh, well, everybody else, it must be me, I must be wrong. Honestly, we live in a society where it has become controversial to have a high opinion of women, to actually enjoy your wife. Living in the South has shown me that there are so many people who are married and hate their wives, and that's just normal here, and it's become normal in society. So somebody comes out with an entire album that is dedicated to the love that he has for his wife, which honestly, who else is doing that right now? Like, the album itself is called The Big Day, which is his wedding day. Whole entire album dedicated to his excitement for this day. And it's not just that. As a creator, I really respect this album because if you are a creator or an artist, you can understand how you can get really bogged down focusing on your artist. And for me, this album was inspiration first, you second, audience last, and I'm not mad at it. Look at this layout. He has Shawn Mendes, Randy Newman. Okay, that's You've Got a Friend in Me, Randy Newman, on the same album. SWV, Lil Durk, Nicki Minaj. Like, what is this? What is this setup? This is art in motion. This album was made by someone who loves and appreciates music. Death Cab for Cutie, Smino. What? Megan Thee Stallion. Like, this is Ari Lennox, In Vogue. This album is insane. Whether you like it or not, you have to be able to appreciate musical genius. And with that lineup, it tells me that Chance got the opportunity to make music unbarred, unblocked by, record labels. He got to make music that he enjoyed with artists that he obviously liked. That lineup is insane. He obviously had some level of caring for these artists and wanted to work with them. So you're seeing an album where he got to collaborate. This kid who came from absolutely a space where he didn't have anything to being able to, I'm gonna do this. That's incredible. Like, you have to be able to acknowledge how incredible that is. Okay, but let's say that doesn't do it for you. Let's talk lyrical content. This man is talking about, side chicks can't take out splinters. Like, let's be eternal. These aren't themes that you're allowed to talk about in the rap community. You can bash a woman, but you cannot be proud of her, be excited about her, be grateful that she's in your life. You cannot acknowledge your own mistakes and misgivings and wanting to develop a family unit. Like, you can't do that. When we think about art, I think one thing we miss out on understanding is that art that you create is like a diary. It's a diary entry of that specific point in time in your life. That's where you're taking inspiration from. And as much as I love acid rap, as much as I love Coloring Book, it would concern me if there was another acid rap, because I'm like, where is the character development? We live in a society where we keep listening to Drake, who's been rapping about the same shit since he was 22 years old. Like, I don't want a manic pixie baby daddy. I want somebody who is elevated, someone who's, hey, this is what I went through. This is where I was at this point in time, and this is where I am now. And honestly, it makes you realize that we as a society would rather have musicians who have died too young can sit and, cry and mourn about what they could have been, or how they would have been this if they had had more time, if they had just been given the chance to grow. But the reality of the situation is, would we have even let them? Would we have even let them grow into what they were growing into? And I also think that this creates a very dangerous precedent that I think is really, really common with creatives, where they think they can't create unless they're drunk, high. They can't create unless they're in pain, which is like, what are we doing? What are we doing to our creatives when we're sending this message that, hey, you have come out of this dark place, and because I haven't grown into a new space, I want you to stay the same. And because you haven't stayed the same, you're a failure. What? Like, what type of society do we have in place where we call somebody who's not disrespecting women a simp? What are we encouraging or enforcing when we make being a simp for the woman that you love and wanting to be there for your family a problem? I don't know. You guys let me know. If you've had a spiritual awakening within the last 3 years, or at least since 2020, go back, listen to The Big Day, and then come back here and let me know. Deja, you're tripping. This album is slaw. But for real, like, I would love your thoughts, because I'm willing to bet that if you have, leveled up, and this is I'm not trying to spiritually bash or anything, but if you have like moved into a different state of consciousness and you find yourself wanting to hear different things, go listen to this album, come back, let me know your thoughts, or if I'm just like way off.